everyone, welcome to episode 2 of my 3PO build. We're going to take a look at making some eyes for this guy. This is still my original draft of the head. I'm going to keep the back, it turned out pretty good. The front I'm going to redo, but in the meantime I'm going to show you how I built the eyes for him. So that's what we're talking about in this episode, so without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I did is I took out my resin printer and I made these eye cups that Jesse M had designed. They turned out pretty good, and I did them in a gray resin, water washable resin, and the finish on them is done with Duplicolor. Since they didn't need any sanding, I used this Duplicolor gloss acrylic lacquer. And the top coat is done in Montana Gold. This is the M3000 Montana Gold, and I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on the gold on this, so I'm going to go with the spray paint can. But it turned out pretty good. So that was the first step, and from there I just started creating the insides with the LEDs and some backs for them, so I'm going to just show you that. The LEDs that I used, I bought in a pack. They look like this. These are warm white LEDs that I was going to use for a project that I never did, and they all come with a little, pull one out here, there's a little resistor built in, so you don't have to worry about wiring a resistor up for them. So those are the LEDs that I used. First of all, I'd like to thank Happy Trooper for the idea of using fluorescent light shrouds as my diffusers inside the eye cups. That really worked well. I didn't have to resin print anything, and they look great. So the first step for me was to use my vinyl cutter. I cut out 2 vinyl circles, and if you can see carefully, there's a circle within a circle. The inside part is the pupil. The outside part is just so that I can cut out the circle carefully using a bandsaw and a file. So that's what I did. I made these 2 circles, then I placed them onto the fluorescent light fixture, or the shroud rather, and then I cut the 2 circles out with a bandsaw and then filed them down so that they just fit inside the eye cups. And then from there I peeled off the outer circles, which left the 2 black inner circles, which are about a 10mm diameter, and those are like the pupils for C3PO. It worked out really well. And now from there I just popped those into the eye cups, and I'm ready to add my LEDs. So what I did from there is I made, I designed and 3D printed these back for the eye cups that hold the LEDs, and they just point straight in, and I'm just about to wire those up, and I'll show you what they look like when they're turned on. Alright, so as I was saying, here's the eye cup. Here's the diffuser from a fluorescent light fixture. I peeled off the outer vinyl circle, left the inner one as the pupil, and that just pops into there. And then I created these. They're just 3D printed. They have the LEDs facing forward. I'm just about to wire all this up, so I'll just put them all together so they're in parallel, and then that will pop into the back here, get glued on, and then we'll turn it on and see what they look like. Alright, here they are with the LEDs installed and activated with 5 volts. So I'm just debating whether to use 5 volts or 12 volts. I have the option. So there's 5 volts right there, and I'll just turn it up. And there's 12 volts right there. So I can decide a little bit later, but I have to pick one or the other. So we'll wait and see what happens. So there they all are. I'm going to put them into 3PO's head and tentatively see what it looks like. Okay, here's 3PO with his eyes installed temporarily, obviously. And just want to point out When I put them in, I made the slats straight up and down, and I put one LED at the bottom and then the two top corners, and I think that's screen accurate. I'm not sure. Maybe you can leave a comment if you know exactly how that should look before I finish them up. That's at 5 volts. Let me just crank this up to 12 volts. That's 12 volts, so I'm not sure what brightness level. I'm thinking I'm going to go with 5 volts, but we'll wait and see. That's him so far. Next episode, I'm going to show you how I made the animatronic part of the head, the forward backwards, which I call the nod, and then the left to right, which is the shake. And I've got that all finished actually, so the next video, 2 videos should be out fairly quickly, and I've completed the circuit board for all of that, as well as the sounds. So thanks for watching, and stick around for our thought for today. Happy building!